it's Michaela and Kristen again. This is our fourth and final Keeping Tabs of this year. And this topic is all about peer pressure. And so Kristen's going to talk to you a little bit about how there's different types of pressure and how that all works.
So as you know, the pressures of high school can be very tough, and there's more than one type of peer pressure. I mean, obviously no one's going to come up to you and like force something upon you, well, hopefully, but there's also pressure like self-pressure where you want to fit in, so you pressure yourself to do something. But mostly this whole video is about how to avoid peer pressure and how to act in what you know and act using your conscience. So we have Miss Hawthorne here to talk to us, as well as the peer counselors took a fun spin, well not fun, but you know, lighthearted spin on peer pressure and made some commercials. So we hope you like it.
Hi, I'm Aunt Catherine. I'm one of your new peer counselors for next year, and I will fight for you.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a sophomore and I'm a new peer counselor, and I'm here for y'all if you need anything.
Hi, I'm McKenna Morris and I'm a junior, and if you struggle with anything, you can call me.
Hey, my name is Vanessa Nunez. I'm a junior and I'm a new PC. If you need anyone to talk to, I'm here for you.
Hi, I'm Elise Broussard. I'm a junior, and I'm a new peer counselor. And if you ever feel alone or just need a friend, I will always be here for you.
Hello, I'm Garrison Bowling. I'm a sophomore, and don't forget to be awesome.
Hey baby, check this out.
Wow, that was so good.
You like that trick? I can show you some more if we go back to my place.
Oh gosh, no, thank you. No, I don't want to go.
Come on.
Like a good neighbor, Mondo is there.
Who's this guy?
It's Mondo from State Farm.
Who are you? I'm Hunter from the pool hall.
Bye.
What's up, homie? You want a shot of this Henny?
Yeah.
Billy, stop. You're not you, you're under the influence.
Oh yeah, you're right. What was I thinking? I'm not gonna drink anymore.
In 15 minutes or less, you can ruin someone's reputation by gossiping. Think before you speak.
What is the most successful way, in your opinion, to deal with a conflict that between two parties?
Well, what we teach at the Dispute Resolution Center is to try to get people in conflict to sit down and talk about the issues, to see if they can work through, communicate, and come to a resolution.
What about an internal conflict, such as peer pressure, but obviously, you know, you're going through the process with, I guess you could say, your conscience that sits on your either shoulder, the angel and devil kind of thing?
That's an interesting question. I think it's hard, especially in high school, because you have so many outside factors. You have your parents, your friends, and they probably all have different opinions on what they think you should do. And so I think that you really should just think about the conflict or the issue at hand and think about what you believe is right and wrong before making a decision.
Okay.
Being young is really interesting now because you have the element of social media. So when you're in a conflict or you have a fight with a friend, a lot of times people can read about it on social media and it immediately escalates and there is no resolution, because if you've had a conflict at school and then you go home and your friend calls you and said that they read about it on social media, then it just escalates. There's no end in sight. But if you and the person were able to sit down and communicate and talk about an issue without it being posted, then the two of you can resolve it without involving everybody else and involving friends. But you know how friends are. A lot of times in high school, you travel in packs. So if one friend is attacked by another friend, then people start separating. They start taking teams, and then the conflict escalates from 2 people to groups of people, and it's really toxic. So if you can sit down and resolve a conflict with communication, face to face, talking about your feelings and resolve it before it ever gets to social media, think about the impact that's made on all of those groups of people who would have gotten involved.
So in that kind of case, you suggest communicating, and then would there be a compromise with that, or how?
Well, a lot of people avoid confrontation. If you're offended or your feelings are hurt, it's easier to tell your friend about it and get their opinion than it is to approach the person that hurt your feelings and talk about it. But it's never resolved if you don't confront the issue. And what we advocate is just communicating your feelings and try to come to a resolution peacefully without the conflict growing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it really does. Do y'all have any?
So you're saying that the most peaceful way to like resolve a situation is just discussing it?
It is, because we find that most conflicts are a result of a lack of communication, or people have viewed a situation 2 different ways. If something were to happen and we interviewed every single person that witnessed it, you're going to get a different story. So sometimes if you sit down and talk about your feelings and talk about the issues, you can come to a resolution, because a lot of times it was just a misunderstanding. And once you're able to discuss your feelings and find resolution, without it escalating, it's the best way to resolve the dispute.
How do you start the conversation out, trying to get them to talk about what, like as a mediator, how do you get them to talk about their issue?
Well, during mediation, first of all, we set up some ground rules that we are here to talk and to listen, and when one person is speaking, we want the other person to listen, and then when it's their turn, then they'll get the same courtesy. We open the mediation session basically by starting with one person or one party, and we just ask them, why are we here today, and how would you like to see this resolved? And then once they're able to talk about the issues and how they think that it could best be resolved, then the other party talks. And we just keep going back and forth until they're able to develop some sort of agreement as to how they can end the conflict.
Do you think that there's a time gap necessarily to resolving an issue? Say that if the issue happened 6 months ago or a year ago, but it's still, prevalent, do you think that there is a time gap that closes before you confront the issue again?
That's really a great comment. We find that conflict doesn't usually go away. A lot of people think, well, if I just don't address it, or if I just don't talk about it, I just need time to cool down, things will be better. But the issue's never resolved. And a lot of times, in many cases, the longer that it goes on without anybody addressing it, the worse it gets. And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, about you'll start talking to your family and friends about what they think. Then they're involved. And the other party's doing the same thing. So a conflict between 2 people is now involving groups of people, and it just escalates from there.
So for this video's activity, we're going to do something really fun. The peer counselors have already tested it out, and we're going to have all the homerooms come up with one commercial that kind of dubs the peer pressures or how to avoid it, or use some of the tactics that Ms. Hawthorne talked about with conflict resolution. And the winner will actually be featured on Dog Watch, so when you win, the whole entire school will be able to see your awesome commercial.
Together, once we know that we are, we're all stars, and we see that